19th century spiritualism sparked the creation of the talking board, or the spirit board. Nowadays, we know this to be the Ouija board. Now, during this time, people were really into talking to the dead. I mean, who wants to talk to living people? Living people are boring. They were using mediums to basically talk to spirits and get advice. People really were into talking to the dead.
During the next few weeks, I'm sure you couldn't have found a ghost in better spirits than our little Casper.
Obviously, somebody saw an opportunity here to make some Benjamins, because at the end of the day, life is all about the Benjamins. So some smart dudes, one of those smart dudes being Elijah Bond, actually patented the talking board in 1891. Fun fact, the talking board actually gave itself its name during a session that Elijah Bond had with his sister-in-law. It gave itself the name Ouija, or Ouija, however you want to say it. So in 1966, the rights were sold to the Parker brothers, and now Hasbro has the rights. But my question is, why are these being sold in toy stores? The internet is filled with videos of people using Ouija boards. There are stories also all over the internet of, bad situations that happen because of people using these Ouija boards. There's actually a demon called ZOZO that people supposedly get in contact with. Demon, entity, whatever you want to call them. But people get in contact with this, whatever it is, entity. Let's just call it entity because I am not religious, so I do not want to call him a demon. So when people get in contact with ZOZO, what happens is, most of the time, is they have a bad time, they have a bad trip, and after they get haunted by this entity.
Who are you talking to?
Looking into this, you get your people that do believe and your people that don't believe. You have people that use it and practice occult stuff with this. They get into contact with entities, and some of them have really bad experiences. I'm just wondering why little kids are being allowed to buy this if there's a possibility that they could be haunted by a evil, malicious entity. There's actually a pink version that was made to target like little girls. Now, a scientific or logical explanation to this would be that we are moving the Ouija board on our own. It's actually called the ideometer effect, if I'm not saying this, incorrectly. It's basically you're unconsciously doing something. You're unconsciously moving the planchette on your own. So when I look at this, it has a really heavy religious tone to it. Seeing as it is an American product, I feel like a lot of the spirit and occult stuff kind of bases most of its history and credibility on with like a religious aspect.
I exorcise you from this house, you and your accursed souls. I exorcise you from this house.
So when I look into this stuff, I kind of look at it like there's a negative and a positive energy, and we're tapping into something that I feel like humans may be able to tap into. But yeah, what do you guys think? Is it safe to use these things? Have you ever used these things? I would love to hear a story or your stories down in the comments, so let me know what your experience was when you used the Ouija board, if it's real, if it's fake, what you guys think. I've personally never used the Ouija board. Like I said, I don't know. I feel like messing with dark energy or dark entities can be dangerous. All religions and all different cultures around the world have these dark entities. They call them demons, they call them jinn. So I feel like there is a bit of danger there when messing or playing around with this. Also, mediums and talking to spirits and this kind of occult practice exists also in many religions and in many cultures around the world. Now, before the Ouija board, there was the planchette. Now, the planchette is basically the piece on the Ouija board that you use to, spell out what the demon or the entity or whatever is saying. Now, mediums used to use this. They would put like a pen in it, and it had like 2 wheels on the back. It was basically a bigger version of the piece that you have on your Ouija board, and it would roll out and spell stuff out. Now, the Ouija board was like a simplified version of this. Before this, there was automatic writing, and that was basically where the medium would go into contact with a entity, and they would write out basically what the entity was trying to tell the person. Elijah Bond's tombstone actually has a Ouija board on the back end of it. If I ever go to that tombstone and I see it, I'm going to definitely try and contact it. I'm going to take a planchette and just roll it around the back of the tombstone and see what happens. Planchette reminds me of pancetta, bacon. Yeah. Either way, however I look at this, we're selling some kind of occult toy to children so that they could contact entities. I find that very strange, and I remember when Harry Potter came out and people were like burning the books. People were burning Harry Potter books, but Ouija boards are still being sold in toy stores. That's kind of fascinating. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. You're all dope. We'll talk soon.